Good day and welcome to our daily news roundup on Atlantic TV. I am Mike Egbadio. Here are our top stories. DSS arraigns a 5 over silver cover-up. APC picks Akpabio 4 governors for Senate bid. Federal government orders halt to unverified constituency project payments. The foreign scene, India arrests 3 Nigerians over alleged drug trafficking. And talking sport, Okowa backs Brume despite jail term and deportation. Now to the news in full. The Department of State Service has arraigned 5 associates of former Minister of State for Petroleum Timipre Silva over allegations of concealing his whereabouts. The defendants, Ruben Aruba, Musa Mohammed, Friday Paul, and Ayabiefe Subete, appeared before the Federal High Court in Abuja on a 2-count charge of allegedly hiding Silva, whom the prosecution described as a fugitive. They all pleaded not guilty to the charge. Justice Peter Lifu granted each defendant bail in the sum of 5 million naira with 2 sureties, but ordered them remanded at the Kuje Correctional Center pending the fulfillment of their bail condition. The case was adjourned until July 22nd for commencement of trial. The charges are linked to the federal government's ongoing persecution over an alleged coup plot in which Timipre Silva has been accused of sponsoring a conspiracy to overthrow the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Silva has denied the allegations. At least 18 people have been killed in a renewed communal violence in Rafi, local government area of Niger State, with 15 victims reportedly burnt alive after attackers set 2-bedroom apartment ablaze in Angwa Bago, near Gorodo village. The Niger State Police Command says the latest attack is linked to a long-running land dispute between 2 communities. The violence began on June 29th with the killing of 25-year-old man Ibrahim Musa and was followed by a reprisal attack that claimed another life. Police say the death toll has now risen to 18, while a community source alleged that several houses were destroyed and women and children among those worst affected by the violence. Authority says joint police and military patrol have been deployed to restore peace, while a reconciliation committee led by the local government official is working with security agencies to restore and resolve the conflict and identify those responsible. The Nigerian Democratic Congress senatorial candidate for the Delta Central and the former Deputy Senate President Ovioma Agege has criticized the Delta State House of Assembly for declaring the seat of Udu lawmaker Collins Egbetama vacant following his defection to the NDC. The NDC described the decision as unconstitutional, politically motivated, and abuse of legislative powers, insisting that the mandate belongs to the people of Udu constituency. Omagege also condemned the move, calling it hasty, arbitrary, and a violation of lawmakers' right to fair hearing. The Delta State House of Assembly, however, defended its actions, saying it acted in line with the 1999 Constitution after considering the members' resignation and defection later. Assembly maintained that there was no evidence of a division within his former party to justify the defection without loss of his seat. Both the NDC and Omo Agege has called for the reversal of the decision, with the former Deputy Senate President urging the judiciary to intervene, warning that bypassing due process undermines constitutional democracy. The All Progressives Congress has retained Senate President Godswill Akpabio and 4 top lawmakers on its list of candidates for the 2027 National Assembly election as it began submitting nominations to the Independent National Electoral Commission. Party sources says the APC has processed the nomination document of Akpabio, Deputy Senate President Jibrin Bara, Senate Leader Okpeyemi Bamidele, Chief Whip Mohammed Mungunu, and former Edo State Governor Adosom Shomole through INEC's online nomination portal. The party has also cleared 47 governors to contest Senate seats in 2027. They are Kwara State Governor Abdul Rahman Abdul Razak, Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma, Adamawa State Governor Amadou Fintri, and Gombe State Governor Inuwa Yahaya. Former Kogi State Governor Yaya Bello also emerged as the party's candidate for Kogi Central. Meanwhile, APC has made several changes to its list of National Assembly candidates following appeals from its primary elections, replacing a number of the senatorial and House of Representative candidates. The party says the revision compile or comply with the Electoral Acts and INEC guideline, with the Electoral Commission nomination portal remaining open until July the 11th. Talking business, the federal government has ordered all ministries, departments, and agencies to stop processing payment for constituency and zonal intervention projects that had not been verified. In a directive issued by the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation, all MDAs must now obtain a certificate of verification and also compliance from the Federal Ministry of Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs before any payment can be approved. Now, the government says the move follows widespread non-compliance with existing guidelines and is aimed at strengthening transparency, accountability, and the proper execution of constituency projects across the country. Now, under the new directive, any payment request without the required certificate will be rejected. The government says the measure is expected to curb the misuse of public funds and ensure that only duly verified and approved projects receive funding. The federal government reduction in vehicle import levies has taken effect, raising expectation of lower vehicle prices across Nigeria. Under the 2026 fiscal policy measure, the import levy on new vehicles have been reduced from 20 to 10%, while the levy for used vehicles have cut from 15 to 5%. Now, the government said the move is aimed at reducing import costs and stimulating economic activity. However, auto dealers said the full impact of the policy remains uncertain because the government has also introduced a green tax surcharge on imported vehicles without releasing details on how it will be applied. Now, industry stakeholders said vehicle prices could fall if the green tax is kept low, but warned that any significant surcharge could offset the gains from the reduced import levies. And then with that business news, we need to go on the break now. But do remember, when we return, more as it concerns the foreign scene and the ever-exciting world of sport. Join us.
Events and more. Stay connected by following us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at Atlantic Media and TV.
The foreign scene, 3 Nigerians have been arrested in India over their alleged involvement in a drug trafficking syndicate. According to Indian authorities, the suspect reportedly entered the country on medical and tourist visa before engaging in illicit drug trade. The suspect identified as Ambumo Victor, Chime Moses, and Karakari Amos were arrested by operatives of the anti-narcotic wing of the Indian Central Crime Branch during a raid in the area. Authorities said more than 10 kilograms of MDMA crystals and over 2 kilograms of hydroponic cannabis with an estimated street value of 2.3 billion rupees were recovered. Investigators believe the drugs were supplied by another Nigerian base in Delhi. The arrest comes after 2 months after 4 other Nigerians were apprehended in India over separate allegations of fraud and impersonation as authorities intensify efforts to combat transnational crimes. At least 13 people have been killed and dozens injured after Russia launched one of its largest overnight missile and drone attack on Ukraine capital Kyiv. Ukrainian officials said the barrage struck resident areas, tearing through apartment buildings and forcing residents to seek shelter in metro stations and basements. Kyiv Mayor Vitalin Kiskov says at least 86 people were injured. Ukraine Air Force says Russia launched about 496 drones and 74 missiles during the attack, adding that most of the projectiles were intercepted. The strike came hours after President Volodymyr Zelensky warned of an imminent large-scale Russian assault and appealed to allies for more air defense systems. Russia Defense Ministry confirmed carrying out what they described as a massive strike on Kyiv, saying it was in retaliation for recent Ukrainian attacks inside Russia territory. The latest bombardment comes as diplomatic efforts to end more than 4 years of war continue to stall. The Athletic Federation of Nigeria says the prison sentence handed to sprinter godson Ogene Brume will not mark the end of the athlete's career. The FN president, Tonobok Okowa, says the federation will welcome Ogenebrume back to Nigeria if he's deported after serving the 27-month prison sentence in the United States. Okowa says the 23-year-old still has the talent to revive his career despite the setback. Ogenebrume was sentenced by a U.S. federal high court after pleading guilty to possessing a firearm while on an F1 student visa. Prosecutors said the offense stemmed from a domestic dispute in Louisiana in February of 2025, during which he allegedly discharged a firearm. He is expected to face deportation after completing his sentence. The sprinter, who boasts a personal best of 9.90 seconds in 100 meters, represented Nigeria at the Tokyo Olympics as a relay alternate and was a standard athlete at Louisiana State University. Still talking sports, England has booked a place in the FIFA World Cup round of 16 after coming from behind to beat Democratic Republic of Congo 2-1 in Atlanta. The Three Lions fell behind early after Brian Sipanga gave Democratic Republic of Congo the lead, putting England on the brink of a shock elimination. Despite dominating possession, Thomas Tuchel's side struggled to break down the Congolese defense for much of the match. Captain Harry Kane came to England's rescue, heading home the equalizer in the 75th minute before firing home the winner 4 minutes from time. Both goals were created by substitute Anthony Gordon. The victory sends England into the last 16, where they will face co-host Mexico, while for Democratic Republic of Congo, their impressive World Cup campaign comes to an end after their first appearance at the tournament in 52 years. Well, sad it is. But with that, we come to the end of the news. But let's go check what the weather will be like for major cities across Nigeria. Well, with the weather forecast, that brings us to the end of the news right here on Atlantic TV. I still remain Michael Gobadia. God bless you. Have a great day.